All right, Jay, we'll get started here in just a few. Thanks for your patience.
Okay, everybody. Sorry for the delay. I'm having some internet connectivity issues. So if I drop off, that's what's happening. Apologies. I'm gonna try to make sure I have another screen open just to be on the safe side. So you might see me in the room twice. So don't be alarmed by that. Can you hear me okay? Somebody unmute and let me know if you can hear me.
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
Yes,
We
ma'am.
can hear you.
Yeah,
hear
my,
you.
okay. All right, so let me go ahead and share my screen. Okay, so you should be seeing the course homepage now. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Hopefully this holds on long enough so we can get through this morning. So on Tuesday, I took you on a tour of the course and showed you the structure and the layout, talked to you about completing the week 1 assignment that you have to do for this class. And my directions to you were that you should go and review the items in the course, get familiar with the menu options, and come back today with any questions that you might have. So I want to open the floor for that first to see if there are any questions on anything that I covered on Tuesday.
I don't have any.
Okay. Anybody else? Please don't hesitate. Okay. So what I'm gonna do now, and by all means, if at any point you have a question, don't be shy about unmuting and asking your questions. Oh, there we go. It just died. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, let me get out of this one. So I just lost the website on the computer that I'm on. Let me see if I can get it back because it just came back up. Apologies.
I have one question. You had said you have to go to the weekly overview if you want
Yes,
to do any of the to-do assignments.
correct.
When I click on to do, there's like a reply option. Is that
I would have to see exactly what you're talking about. Bear with me for a second.
okay?
I'm gonna mute this side of the meeting and I'm gonna use my other device that I have connected to the internet to try to interact. So bear with me just for a second. I'm running 2 different computers, so that's why I'm logged in twice. So bear with me. Bear with me. I'm trying to figure this out because since I'm the host over here, it's giving me difficulty. So I might have to log out here and log in on my other device, so just bear with me. Let's see if I can. So I'm here in this meeting now on my other device, so bear with me. So I've got to log into Canvas. Okay, I think you can see it now. Apologies for all this craziness with the technology. My work computer is like not cooperating at all. So I had a question. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, ma'am.
Please unmute and let me know if you can hear me.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I can hear you.
the gentleman who had a question, please ask your question again.
When I go on the to-do list and click on one of your assignments, like if it's a discussion, I
Yeah.
can leave a reply like from the to-do list for not for all of them, but for some of them. Is that how I would do those, or do I have to do all of them through the weekly overview?
You can, if you click on a discussion, you can post your response, but you're not going to see all of the discussions, only the ones that are open at the moment. That is why I suggest that you use the weekly overviews to go into any assignment, because that way you're guaranteed to be doing the one that's that's available and required for that week.
Yeah.
So if you go into the weekly overviews, you will definitely see the links to those same discussions that are popping up on your to-do list. But in my mind, because you have everything available to you right there in the weekly overviews, I would suggest that you use the to-do list as a reminder tool and not as a means of completing the assignments.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Sure, no problem. Any other questions? Don't hesitate. Okay, so I did mention on Tuesday, that I wanted to look at a few more items specifically that are listed in the weekly overviews. So you can see that for the next few weeks, we're going to be just moving along as usual. The topics are listed, your assignments are available in the weekly overviews. And then when we get down to week 7, and this is in late February, early March, so there's plenty of time and nothing that you need to be like worrying about completing now. But I did want to bring to your attention that you will see that there's an overview that says midterm. And so if you click on that, you can actually go in and look at information on the midterm right now. But since you're a student, if you click on that link that says midterm exam, you're not going to be able to get into it. Okay. So you actually do complete your exams through Canvas using the quiz tool that they provide. But you can go and read up information on the midterm, all the particulars, because I've outlined it there in the logistics. The study guide is available. And in every weekly overview, there's a link to class questions where you can field any questions that you might be having. But I did want you to see that because that shows you the level of detail that I provided to you in the weekly overviews. So if you keep moving along in the weekly overviews, then you see there's information that says project article approval deadline. So you are going to be doing a course project. If you looked over the syllabus or you looked in the assignments and activities link menu option, you saw that there was a project listed. And so on the weekly overviews, I've actually coded in those major deadlines that you have, like the project and the exams, okay? So you see down in week 15, the project is actually due, and then the following week is your final exam, okay? So that's why I suggest to you that you use the to-do list as a reminder, but you access the material through the weekly overviews. You can surely still go to activities and assignments. And if you click on those links there, you're going to be able to access information on the same information on midterm and final. And then there's also a link to project information. Those same links are the ones that you will open from the weekly overview as well, okay? So there are multiple ways to get to the item, but I always suggest to students that you use the weekly overviews, okay? And so there's information available on the project for you. Feel free to go and take a look at that information on your own. But you see, I've coded some information there on the project, the purpose for the project, some of the skills that you'll need to master, need to have to complete the project. And then the other thing is that periodically I will be going into this material and discussing it with you. You can see that your project is due on 30 April, as is listed on the weekly overview. And then how your project will be scored, all of those things I'm going to be covering with you periodically. But my suggestion to you is, and I'll mention this again next week, is that you come out here and take a look at those project details. Start looking at the project details, okay? I always tell students the earlier you start your project, the better, because this is an intensive project. And for those of you who are in lecture and lab, you have to do a project for both classes. It's not that you can't use the same project in both classes. So, my suggestion is to go ahead and get started, because your first major deadline is March 19th. And that might seem like, oh, that's a long ways away, but it'll actually get here faster than you think. And those students who wait to the last minute typically don't do as well. That's just the reality of this project, okay? So you have access to that information. You have access to it from the weekly overviews or the assignments and activities link, okay? But I suggest using the weekly overviews, all right? So the other thing that I've made available to you regarding the project that you might want to take a look at is a link to the project video. This video discusses the project and the scoring, okay? And so I've made that tool available to you. It opened up on yesterday. And so you have some really cool items in the announcements, a link to the textbook, some extra resources that I've made available, a link to the project video, and so on and so forth. And then periodically, some of these other items will be opening up as well, okay? I haven't updated this, but I'm gonna, this will be opening here in the next day or so. I have to submit a show no show report by the 27th, I believe they told us, if I'm recalling correctly. And in order for you to remain in this course, you have to complete the week 1 assignments, okay? So if you have not done so already, please get that done, because if you don't, when they ask me to report who has attended and participated in the course, I will utilize the week 1 assignments to determine who I should report as a show and who I should report as a no-show, okay? The fact that you're here says you're doing well in that arena, but you still have to complete the week 1 assignments. Okay. Any questions on that? And I've even put a link to it, the week 1 assignments there for you. And this will open up, I'm going to make it open here in the next day or so as a reminder to students to get that done. But I'm telling you since you're here. Okay. Any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So I think, you know, I've done what I wanted to do to get you acclimated, to get you on your way to participating and being successful in this course. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me with any questions that you might be having. I'm always available and eager to answer your questions. I apologize. I have not checked my email this morning. But that's because I've been having computer issues. The web keeps bouncing on and off on my work computer, but I will get to any emails that I have here shortly and respond to you here in just a little bit. Okay. Are there any folk here that are in the lab class that meets at 11:30?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So I do apologize to you for not being available on Thursday. Just after this class ended, I fell very ill and I had to get medical attention. And so I was logged into the course and trying to steer people and tell them that I wasn't available to discuss the course with you. I will be available at 11:30 today to meet with the lab class. But since you're here and you're in the lab class, I wanted to offer you the opportunity to ask me any questions that you might be having about that class. And then at 11:30, you won't have to log in, because if you did check out the lab, you notice that it looks very, very similar in format to this course, the difference being the types of assignments that you'll do, right? And I did mention to you that even if you're in lecture and lab, still do the week 1 assignments for both classes. Okay. So again, my apologies for that. It was not anything that I planned for at all, to not be available on Thursday for the lab. Any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Well, I'll be available at 11:30 for the lab class. If you feel like you want to come in and do the course tour and introduction for that course, of course, you're more than welcome to join in. Other than that, I'll see you next week and we'll start doing some physical science and lecture and lab. Y'all have a great weekend.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you.
Thank you. You have a good one.
Yeah, have a good day.